Happy Valentine's Day again. We are back for day number 14, which happens to be a Sunday evening, which also happens to be Valentine's Day, a day that many folks out there are using today to make up for the other 364 days that they jacked it up. But I know that's not you who is in our audience tonight. You have been consistent 365 days of year, loving on the people who you love. And we here at Triangle Entrepreneurial Leadership and this year of the Black Entrepreneur, we love you. And these next 365 days, we are celebrating the year of the Black Entrepreneur. And we asked the question, what's love got to do with it? Well, I might say everything. We love you. We are delighted that you would be with us, that you would go down this path with us, that you would take time and invest your evening here on Valentine's Day to be with us, to show your love and appreciation. And we want to extend to you the same by the way of highlighting Black entrepreneurs. So if you're out there, you joined us for the very first time, we just want to simply say welcome. We are delighted that you would be here. If you've been here with us for 28 days or one of 2 or 5 of those days, we are grateful for you joining us. What's going on, Pam? Mr. Milton, yes, sir. It's that day, bro. We got to talk about it. But without further ado, I know it's Sunday night and you guys are probably figuring out, planning, preparing. I just stopped by Food Lion. The roses are flying off the shelves. Some folks are getting ready to get into some good trouble. And so we're going to get out of the way so that we don't hinder that. And I want to bring on my good friend, the founder, CEO, director of Every Black, Mr. Jimmy Davies. Welcome to the show tonight, my friend.
Well, happy Valentine's Day to you, Ryan. And thank you. Thank you so much.
Right back at you. So, man, here we are on a Valentine's Day. Miss Shannon said, great trouble. Oh, great trouble. That's interesting. Well, go get in some great trouble then, Shannon. So, Jimmy, talk to us, man. How you doing out there on this Sunday evening?
I'm doing pretty well. I was teasing my sister last Sunday. She was on competing with Super Bowl. And so we're on tonight with Valentine's Day, but that's okay.
Every Black loves a challenge, right?
Yes, absolutely.
But man, listen, it's funny you say that. I often say, particularly on Sundays, and like you said, Super Bowl, and now Valentine's night, in this industry of entrepreneurship and business, particularly in the social space, we're in the entertainment industry, right? We are competing for other folks' time. And so it's important that your content and that, just what you deliver is of value. And man, coming from the technology space, you are certainly an expert. You've been in this space for a long time. Man, tell us about your journey to creating Every Dot Black. What did you do before Every Dot Black, and how did you end up here?
Well, sure, I'd be glad to I'll give you the condensed version. Grew up in Flint, Michigan, went to school in Michigan at a school called Fair State. At the time it was Fair State College, Fair State University now. Didn't know what I wanted to do. I was in the land surveying program and realized I didn't want to do that. Ended up getting a job with the Social Security Administration for 6 years, hated it. That's when it really dawned on me, why is somebody else telling me when I get a raise and when I can go on vacation? So I ended up quitting after 6 years and to start a business. I had a series of businesses, actually. Didn't know what I wanted to do. I was selling hot dogs at the county fair. I got into real estate for a while and then ended up moving to Virginia. I started a janitorial service. And in the process of my janitorial service, a friend showed me a Macintosh computer. And that was it. That was, I guess, the fall of '87. It was a while ago. Yeah. But in January of 1988, I told people I had a computer training service and I can teach you how to use software. But I told them I had two problems. One, I didn't have a computer. And the other thing, I didn't know how to use one at the time. But what I did, I bought the books to teach myself all the software and to bring up the software. And I started learning software and then I would read the books and then I would go to the customer and we would work on their computers. And I literally learned all of this software and probably some that I forgot to list over the years. Yeah. And what happened is a small service helping people ended up into a business. And we started serving other cities, going around the country, teaching people how to use software. Got to the point we were covering 8 states, 30 cities on a regular basis. And every now and then going from one place to another, making buku money. Didn't know what I was doing with it. So that's an whole nother story. Came too quick and too fast. But we did that. And to give you an idea of some of the corporations we trained, there's a slide there that will show you some of the companies that we worked with. And they have to remember back in the 90s, no one knew how to use a computer, knew the software. All the software was coming out. And they literally was just throwing money, begging us to come and teach the staff how to use computers. There's another slide where I did a lot of work for literally every branch of the military. I was at NASA for 2 years teaching the scientists and the secretaries how to use software. Wow. Again. And so then what I started doing is, one other thing I wanted to mention is eWorld, because this was really the beginning of Every Dot Black, but I didn't realize it at the time. eWorld was a competitor of AOL that Apple started. Yep. And I approached eWorld to say, we want to have an area for African Americans on eWorld. And they agreed. So we started doing these weekly meetings on eWorld for HBUC resources. We had Women's Night, book reviews, current events. And when I look back on it, that really was the beginning of the foundation of Every Dot Black. But anyway, I went on and I started specializing in FileMaker Pro, which is a database program. And if you combine all that computer training and all of that database work, it's about 30 years. But I realized I'm always helping somebody else with their business, right? Yeah. And so that's when I started thinking, like, what do I want to do? And so what I decided is that's when I came up with Every Dot Black, not overnight, but it was a process to think about what do I want to do? And so the mission of Every Dot Black is to assist, educate, and inspire people to create wealth through entrepreneurship. And we really have a heavy emphasis on technology and global networking, right? Yeah. So we have like mastermind meetings every Monday night. If members join, we promote them on our social media, on our email. one thing that we started since COVID is becoming really popular is the study hall. From 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., we just get online and work. We put ourselves on mute and we work because people are so isolated right now.
Yeah.
And then once a month, we do a read-in. In fact, this Saturday, we'll be doing a read-in, reading Success with People for 6 hours. And then we also offer technology training on Fridays, and then a benefit orientation every Friday as well, so people can understand what we're doing. So just to give you an idea of where we're going with this, though, is podcasting. And we're going with podcasting because we realize, one, we can reach more people. Mm-hmm. So that's where we're really going, is podcasting. And so one of the things that we've been blessed to do along the way, as you know, we've made good friends with Dr. Joel Dudley Sr., and we've been commissioned to document his legacy. We're interviewing the people that have been working with him for 50 years, literally, since the very beginning of his business. We're documenting everything. We're taking pictures we're getting all the photos, all the awards, all the speeches, and we're posting them on the podcast. And so that's the link there on the podcast. So we're documenting his work. And I'm really, really excited about that. So those are some of the things we're doing. Oh, I should mention too, is that we also have the gala coming up on the next one there, Angela. But the gala is going to be March 27th. And Ursula Dudley Oglesby is going to be our keynote, our featured speaker. And so the theme of the gala is pivoting to prosperity. Because right now we're all having to pivot during the COVID. And so she's going to share with us what Dudley has been doing to pivot, and also give us some tips on what we can do to pivot during a pandemic. And then, anyway, that's basically what Every Dot Black is about. But it just took me a while to get there. A lot of people think it just happened overnight, but it didn't just happen overnight.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, awesome, man. Wow, you unpacked a lot there, how you arrived and your journey that brought you up to what you feel like was already formulating in your mind, and obviously your experience and expertise. And but the one thing I want to go back to, Jimmy, that from an entrepreneurial perspective, right, we're highlighting Black entrepreneurs, we're educating, we're empowering Black entrepreneurs, is that you were going down one path, janitorial business, a door opened up, and you immediately, which I believe is the identifier, one of the identifiers of an entrepreneurial mindset, is that you recognized an opportunity. You saw a problem, you saw a need, you saw a gap, you saw a hole in the market, and you said, wow, I need to fill that. I can feel that. You didn't have all the tools. I didn't have
any of the tools.
You had nothing, right? Except you recognized an opportunity. You recognized a gap in the marketplace, and all the things that you didn't have. If you had gone back home and say, well, man, that would be incredible, but I don't have this, but I don't know that, but, right? And that's what we tend to do sometimes. We can come up with a million reasons why we shouldn't, but all we really need, Jimmy's, is one reason why we should.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. And I was just so intrigued by all the software that was coming out, and with the graphical user interface of the Macintosh, that I just knew I got to be into this. And so it never dawned on me, like, okay, just because I don't have a computer, I can read the books, which is what I did. Right. And then ultimately I had a fleet of computers, but at the beginning, no, I didn't. But yeah, and it just worked out. It's funny because our very first job was we trained one secretary at NASA for one day. And so I went to the Army and said, we just did a job for NASA. And so the Army gave me a real job.
Right. Game over.
Game over, where we were training the officers to present presentations for the generals and things like that. So
that's incredible. That's incredible. Yeah. I mean, if you're listening out there, guys, one of my favorite quotes, Arthur Ashe said it, civil rights, tennis star back in the day. He said, start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. Right. And Jimmy, that's exactly what you did, man. You started where you were, you used what you had, you did what you could. You didn't have the blueprint. You didn't have, the plan laid out before you. You started where you were, you used what you had and you did what you could, and door after door began to open up for you, man. So, I've heard the story many times. I'm always intrigued every time you share it, man. So I think it's just a great inspiration to current entrepreneurs and someone that's looking to begin to explore the entrepreneurial journey.
Well, thank you. But also what I want to be sure to talk about tonight is YBE.
Okay.
And why I joined YBE. And one of the slides there is down now, but one of the slides shows our launch party. I don't know if you remember, you were the MC for our launch party. Bottom line, Ryan's been supporting us since day one. And when he said he wants to do this, I was like, okay, I'm able now. I want to join and not only bring some other Everyday Black members on. I think we brought on 3 others. I want to bring on some other. I've been telling some other. I'm recruiting some others for you as well.
Appreciate that.
Now that's why I joined, but that's not why I'm coming back every week. I'm coming back every week because this is quality information. I'm learning. I'm networking with new people that I didn't know before. I thought that this past Tuesday meeting was especially moving, where one of the young ladies was thinking about starting a business, but she just didn't know where to start. And before you know it, all of the other members of YBE started kicking in their services to get her started. Yeah. And I think the whole house is crying. I'm tearing up just thinking about it. But I thought that was a very special moment. And that was like the heart of what YBE is about. Yeah. Others helping others achieve their goals and dreams. Just being around like-minded individuals, they can't help but rub off. Right. And so I highly encourage people to check us out. I say us, I'm a member, and I'm a proud member. And actually, I think that we need to get as much information as we can while we can. YBE, Everyday Black, you should be a part of other organizations, other masterminds, where it's going to benefit you, where you're going to learn and improve and develop, yourselves. So I think it's great. Yeah, I really do.
Well, that's awesome, man. Well, I appreciate that, Jimmy. You're right, man. I mean, as soon as we met, and I think about it again. It's really just the essence of who you are. You were challenged by Mr. Dudley, if I'm not mistaken. Feel free to correct me. Maybe not directly, but you felt the challenge to bring a model that he had been implementing for over 50 years. Yeah. And you just, from the ground up, man, you found a space and put some chairs out and said, "Here, we're doing this." Right? Yeah, when you started that mastermind event. Yeah. And I'll never forget sitting in I think I was maybe the 3rd row back, and I watched you. And I said, man, this guy means business. And that's what caused me to say, you know what, I want to help and support. I use the analogy, if your car breaks down on the side of the road, if you just stand there and wait on somebody to help you, people just drive by. Right? Mm-hmm. But if you get out and start pushing, what happens?
People will help you push, right?
People will pull off the side of the road and help you to push. And that's what I saw. You were pushing. And I said, man, I want to help this guy push. And man, so right from the beginning, it was a blessing. And I've just learned so much from you. Technology's always been kind of one of those, bears, those big, ugly, hairy monsters for me. And so you've taught me so much and given me so much encouragement along the way. So I'm grateful that you're a part of YBE, and I've been able to be a part of Everyday Black. And I know together we are going to be able to empower even more people. So
absolutely
exciting, man, to have you on here tonight.
Well, I really appreciate it. And absolutely, I think, people all down in the dumps about the pandemic. And yeah, I don't wish this on anyone. However, my first thought was, man, look at the opportunities. We can reach out now to people around the world. Yes. And that's exactly what we've been doing. So, but again, I don't wish this on anyone, but But at the same time, I have a saying, like whenever there's change, there's opportunity. Yep. And since change is constant, there's always opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I appreciate that, man. And we got to wrap this thing up. The time flies, and we can keep doing this. So many people we have to call back and do full on interviews with. But you shared an article that you wrote. Back in is it 95?
Yeah, about that time.
And I never forget it. I was a sophomore in college at the time. And I remember people were talking about this thing called a computer and internet. And, one of my friends went out and got a laptop. And I'm like, what is this stuff, man? And I literally just avoided it forever. But back in 95, you were talking about this thing called the information superhighway. And here we are. What's that? 25 years later.
Plus, yeah,
25 plus years later, Jimmy. And you just talked about our ability to be able to leverage technology in a pandemic to communicate. You were saying this back then. Just really quickly, man, looking back 25 years ago, is it what you thought it would be when you were really looking for?
It's actually bigger. I saw it coming literally 25 years ago. And at the time I was telling people, and that was the time I started the e-world with Apple. The problem that I had, my message was falling on deaf ears. Nobody was really like into it at that time, just a few handful. And so I went off and did my database thing, but that's another reason. So the concept of Every.Black really was rooted in my thoughts, my ideas from 25 years ago. Wow. But now I realize now everyone is online. Now you've got that point where, everyone, there's a term for it, I forget, but that point where there's enough people online to make a difference. And now the concepts are working. But yeah, I've been thinking about this for literally 25 plus years.
We've got to reach critical mass, right?
Critical mass, that's what I'm trying to think of. Exactly, absolutely. Critical mass.
And that's inspiring too, because, most entrepreneurs, a lot of individuals plan on living 25 more years, right? So what is your 25 year from now story when you look back and say, I had a vision, I had an idea, I had a thought, I had something that I conceived. Will you move forward in it, or will you let what you don't know hold you back? You took action, and 25 years later, here you are, man, changing the world, literally.
No, I think now is really, we're revving up. I mentioned the podcasting, because we are about to go and let the cat out the bag. We're about to go 24/7, releasing a show every hour of the day, every 7 days a week. We've got enough content from the past and present we're developing, and it's going to all be centered around entrepreneurship. Messages about entrepreneurship, video, audio, images. I mean, everything's going to be positive entrepreneurship to get people really thinking about it. And then the other thing that we're doing, the legacy project we're doing for Dr. Joel Dudley Sr., we realized that's a prototype for the next entrepreneur. In fact, Lafayette Jones, I have to mention Lafayette Jones, who's been a great mentor to us. Will be working on his podcast, to a beauty legacy, that he's been in the beauty industry for 40 plus years. And so we want to document the histories of these giants, Black entrepreneurs that have been doing great things. And I really see Every.Black as being the go-to place. If you want to find out something about entrepreneurship, we're going to be online no matter day or night, no matter where you are. If you had an internet and a computer connection or mobile connection, any kind of connection, we want to be able to pull up information about Every.Black and entrepreneurship, and how to better yourself, how to create wealth through entrepreneurship and leveraging technology. And again, the reason the podcasting, because it lets us reach a lot more people. We can reach a lot more people worldwide.
Awesome, man. Well, that's what it's all about, Jimmy. We want to see how many people we can reach and inspire. And listen, guys, no matter where you are in your entrepreneurial journey, success leaves clues. I'm going to say that again. Success leaves clues. And Jimmy is compiling all of those clues from the giants in entrepreneurship and Black entrepreneurship. And make sure that you check out Every.Black. Get your subscription, become a member, and find out where you are in your journey. Hook yourself up to the train that is moving forward. There's no more excuses. The information is there. The communities are there. The inspiration is there. It's really just about you making a decision. So we have had the pleasure of spending just a few minutes with Jimmy Davies, the founder of Every.Black. If you have not joined the Every.Black community, make sure you do so by going out to Every.Black. And we also welcome you to be a part of the Year of the Black Entrepreneur community. You can find us at ybehub.com. We're running alongside of each other. We found some ways to overlap. We're going to continue to find some ways to overlap, because this thing is really all about collaboration, cooperation. Yeah. How can we leverage our gifts and talents, experiences, resources to support the masses? And so, Jimmy, any parting words for our audience out there?
Well, I'm just going to say, you say we overlap, and you're absolutely right, because just imagine, what if there's like one church in Raleigh? I mean, that would be ridiculous, right? But they're all bringing everybody to the Lord. And so there's room for all of us to bring everyone to the concept of entrepreneurship, self-sufficiency, so yeah, it's.
Yeah, but I mean, I have to say, like this, that, and if there was only one church and only one pastor, he can't, his message doesn't resonate with everybody, right? He doesn't relate with everybody. And so I believe we all have a part to play in this recruiting, if you will,
absolutely,
this work that we're doing, man. So thank you for that, Jimmy. And again, man, it's just a pleasure to know you, to be in service with you, I'll say. And I'm looking forward to what the future is holding and where this thing goes, man. So congratulations on all your success, the podcast, with the gala that's coming up. I can't wait to just be a fly on the wall and watch you work again, man.
Well, I appreciate it, and everything you said, I feel the exact same way. So I really appreciate it. And so thank you.
Good stuff. Thank you, man. All right. You are now free to go get into some great trouble. We have wrapped up tonight's segment of 28 Days highlighting Black entrepreneur, again with my friend Jimmy Davies, founder of Every.Black, on a journey to empower, to help entrepreneurs build wealth, not just in North Carolina, not just in America, but all over the globe. So again, we'll be back with you on tomorrow night with another edition, the 15th day of 28 Days highlighting Black entrepreneurship. We can't wait to see you there. God bless you all. And Jimmy, it has been a plum-pleasing pleasure. You, my friend.
Well, sure thing. Thank you.